And all great dear friends, you are on the channel Melonfonk. In this video we will talk to you about the best map, which in principle was able to find on the expanses of Warcraft. But before we start the video, I would like to say a huge thank you to these guys for not getting into my video. And to get into my next video, you need to fulfill very simple conditions. Subscribe to the channel, give me a like, write a cool comment of 3 words or more so that it can make it into my next video. Well, I'm not going to stall your time, enjoy watching. This is the second such video on my channel, and since you liked the first part and in principle you left a comment that let's do the second, I thought why not, if you like it, then heap iron while heaping iron. On the vastness of Workshop, now just a huge number of different maps, but they remain, but worthy to get in my video remain not so much, and believe me, some of the mods cost a lot. Well, let's go straight to the first mod, which I really liked visually. I liked its preview in the Workshop and in general a really interesting idea. And this is the planet Earth against the background of the planets that are already in the game. A very cool idea to me, although the realization is lame, because the quality of the background of the Earth is not as good as it could be, really a little bit in a small resolution, and if a friend made a better resolution I think it would be much better. But so in general the Earth looks good. Of course the continents do not look like the real ones, but in general it really looks nice, especially I like this bluish section, like an imitation of the atmosphere, and it really looks cool. I do not know. I'll give the map 8 points. As for me, quite decent. But your opinion of course write in the comments. As for me, pretty good. Let's move on to the next map right off the bat. The next map I think everyone is painfully familiar with. It's the same map, Subway Surf, and here I was very pleased to remember the very game that I have not launched for a very long time. Honestly, even after this video, after the recording, I downloaded this game on my phone and played for a few hours, because it was really interesting to remember the good old days, and in general the map is pretty good in its implementation. Everything is very good, but lacks ambient. Perhaps the developer of this map just forgot to add the parallax parameter, and then it would be much better, because of the lack of the parallax parameter. So don't steal, guys. Let's move on to the next map. And the next map on more familiar to you, because it is the background from the main menu. You can see that the developer of this map all drawn by hand, that is, he basically redrew the background, which was already in the game. I do not know if it makes sense, but in general, oh why not? Of course drew not as good as the developers have done then, because there it is all done after the pits, it is all there neater. I do not know how much deserves this work, write in the comments. I would put probably 0.6, because everything is very simple. Also guys, I want to remind you that if you do quests and if you want to get MELs absolutely free, then copy my promo code, it will be in the attached comment. Use this promo code when registering and get 300 MELs absolutely free. Also in addition, I want to remind you that my work is also in the Workshop. At the moment in the Workshop there are 3 of my NPCs, it is Marshmallow, Potatoes and Peppers. But there will soon be added a new map. Look for my work under the nickname Melonfonk in the Workshop. The work has good ratings and they are made quite well. I always try to quality, so buy my work, because this is the best way to support my channel. Thank you very much. The next map is quite strange, but it is very popular among children, and it is Spunky. Honestly do not understand the trend for such similar maps, but it is not for me to decide. In general, the map is quite weak. I would put her maximum, but the maximum guys 4 points. It is very bad for me, because neither the colors, nor the way these textures are drawn I do not like at all. And the map as a whole too. It is popular simply because there is such a trend and no more, so let's not really focus on this map and move on to the next. The next map is much better. It's a map from the developer of the hydraulic press, and it's basically an animated map that shrinks everything inside. It's basically a test room, because it looks pretty creepy. Honestly, I'm most afraid of that kind of death, because it really looks crazy creepy. I think you'll all agree with me pretty quickly, but really, look at this, everything in this room is shrinking just to the minimum size. By the way, the developers fixed the bug where everything was shrinking with the map. Everything is shrinking, everything is shrinking. To the map I will put 8 points, quite all not bad. I like the textures and the idea. 8 points I think quite worthy. Again, write in the comments what map you like most of this video. Well, and let's move on to the next one. The next map from the creator of the previous map. It is hydraulic, and this map is one of the most popular maps in recent times in the Workshop, and no wonder, because it is really a very cool map, a very cool idea, and in general here really no complaints to it. There is no. Immediately in advance I will put her 8 points, all very good, although as for me everything is insanely dark. If you fix this moment all would be much cooler guys. I think that here you agree with me, 8 points is more than Ideal for this map. In general, this is a funny and sticky map, which really makes you stick for a few minutes on how to clench objects sweat by the power of the press. I think that such videos on YouTube you just found repeatedly, so put a score of 8 and move on to the next map. The next map just blew up the workshop. This is probably the most popular or one of the most popular maps that are available at the moment. Of course it costs a lot and it is a 3D lava map, and this is really quite interesting thing. I do not know how the developers of this map achieve such an interesting effect, but in general they are great, because it looks crazy weird, but also interesting, and I think that almost everyone who does not have enough money for this map would like to get it for free, but it is really quite cool and the idea is cool, and in general upon the creator of this map is definitely a plus likes, because his mods collect a huge number of downloads, a huge number of reactions, views, and in general quite well deserved. Score 9 I think quite adequate, and I think you agree with me, but let's move on to the next map. The next map is one of my favorite maps that the workshop has, and it's the train tracks. It's really the most beautiful, interesting, and cool map because it's perfect parallax. It's a cool idea, it's a nice and beautiful texture, which I haven't seen on the internet, which means it's hardly stolen, and here I give the developer 10 points. 10 points to this map because it's perfect to me. I love it so much and I use it everywhere in almost every video I make. I think you can see that. 10 points here is nothing to discuss and really all cool. It lacks animation, but at the time of release of this map animation was not yet in the game, so the fact that the animation here is not, in my opinion, is not so terrible. 10 points is a very well deserved rating. Write in the comments what map you like the most from this video, and let's move on to the next map. The next map is pretty simple but insanely atmospheric, and it's these kind of Sino-Japanese mountains and really pink, such a nice vibe, beautiful forest, and this kind of mountain in the distance that makes you look at it endlessly. Really very VYB map, and I think that if you want to build something, some safe or something like that, but you want a quiet atmosphere, this is the perfect map for you, because you really relax there. Zalapaliatet, build something and just relax from the outside world. I give it 8 points just for its minimalism and just for its calmness. 8 points goes, and let's move on to the next card. Well, the last map, but not the worst so far, is the beta map. The map is from the beta version 1.0 of Melon Playground. At that time this map was called Humian Playground, and this map is actually very simple and even I don't know how to rate it properly. Maybe I will give it just 10 points, and it's not the developer 10 points, not the map itself, but the story, because it's from this background, it's from this map that our history as Melon Playground community started. This is the map that started it all. Indeed it is the story, and that's why I gave it 10 points just for the story. I don't know why the developers allowed this map to be added to the game, because I think it's a copyright infringement, but that's just my opinion. But I'll leave mine in the comments, of course. Well, this is the end of my video. Thank you all for watching. Good luck to everyone, goodbye to everyone, and remember buddy, as always, see you the other day.